Welcome to my channel. Today I will be reading from the r/malicious compliance. So let's jump into it. OP, so I was raised by an incredibly religious family. My whole life was dictated by the church, and my parents decided that anything fun in life, like video games, tabletop games, or card games, was a waste of time, and only the devil would want you to have fun. Now, my brother and I were not allowed to play any games whatsoever. We also had chores every day, and if we didn't complete them, we weren't allowed to eat. If we ate without finishing our chores, we'd get a spanking. And mind you, we got a spanking for everything. The amount of things we weren't allowed to do was far more than the things we were allowed to do. Basically, no fun ever. My brother and I hated it, and we couldn't wait to move out. Well, we both got scholarships to a college about 15 minutes away, and we moved out as soon as we graduated high school. My brother went to a different university 2 states away for his master's degree. When he came home for Christmas break, we were catching up, and he told me he had joined the school's Dungeons and Dragons club. I was shocked. No way, really? Like all of those nerd things? He said yes, and I told him that I wanted to try it too. So he helped me make a character and gave me some tips and tricks. When I got back home after Christmas break, I found a local game store that had a D&D club. I went there every week and played with the same group of people. After about 6 months, our dungeon master asked if anyone wanted to run a one-shot adventure. I had never run a game before, so I jumped at a chance. It was a lot of fun, and everyone in the group loved it. I was praised left and right, and everyone wanted me to run another game for them, so I did. This continued until I had a regular group of players. One night during our weekly campaign, I got a call from my mom. She was very upset because I had eaten dinner without helping clean up the dishes like I had been asked to. She told me that I needed to come home and learn some respect for my elders. Now I was living on my own, and I didn't have to listen to her, but I still felt guilty. So I told my group that I had to go, and I hung up the phone. Well, my mother called again. But this time she called my work and demanded that they fire me because I was being a good little girl. When I got off work, I got another call from my mother, who was furious that I still hadn't come home. I told her that I was on my way. I drove past my house and kept going until I got to my brother's house. My mom called again, and when she heard that I was at my brother's house, she lost it. She started screaming and yelling about how I wasn't listening to her, and I just kept quiet. The next day, I got a call from my boss asking why I hadn't come in to work. I told him that I had been fired, and he told me that wasn't true. They had no record of my termination. Then he asked why I hadn't come in. I told him what happened, and he understood. I then told him that I didn't have a place to stay since my mom kicked me out, and my brother wasn't answering his phone. The owner took me to lunch and then drove me to a hotel. He paid for everything and told me to take the rest of the day off. After I checked into the hotel, I got a call from my mom demanding to know where I was. I told her that I didn't have anywhere to stay because I'd been fired, and she didn't take me back in. She started yelling and screaming, and I just kept quiet. I then went to my favorite game store and sat at the computer playing Magic: The Gathering online. A few hours later, my mom called again, this time begging me to come home. I told her that I didn't have anywhere else to go. She then told me to come over so we could talk about it. I agreed, and when I walked through the door, I saw my brother sitting there. I told my mom that I didn't want to talk about it here, and I left. So yeah, I don't speak to her anymore, and I haven't seen her in almost 2 years. I'm happily married, have a great job, and a house of my own. Also, my brother doesn't speak to her either. Anyways, that is all for me today. I hope you enjoyed that malicious compliance. If you did, please leave a like. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye.